Hello everybody, welcome to Baku, and it is absolutely soaking wet here. It looks like it's going to get a little bit lighter through the race, but not that much. The Red Bulls monopolise the front row once again. Landonorris and Pierregasly third and fourth, and Charles Leclerc also getting ahead of those Mercedes, who really, considering they're the reigning champions, they are getting slower and slower at the moment, and there is major cause for concern there, Brackley. So there we go then, Max Verstappen getting ready to take off the line. He's got Sergioperez alongside him. It's so rainy at the moment. You can't even, there's such a deep fog, you can barely see down into turn one. Max Verstappen there, and Checo's going to try to have a move straight away. He wants to try to make sure he keeps on top in this inter-team battle, and it is going to be a fascinating scenario, I feel, as they gradually get closer together and potentially pull away from Valtteribottas in the championship. And Max Verstappen leads still at the moment. Perez is in second, Norris third, Gasly holding on to fourth, and I think that they are all driving quite cautiously, except perhaps for Sergioperez, who really wants through into the lead. But Max Verstappen will not give him that opportunity. He does not want to give him that opportunity. Hamilton has held position ahead of Bottas there. Not much the Mercedes can do today. No point employing team orders if they're this slow, because they won't be in the championship fight. And Perez has dropped back a little bit, but a little bit slidey. The problem is, if you want to overtake anybody, you've got to go offline. And when you see how much spray there is offline, look, just Perez there coming slightly off, and loads of spray. And Norris is keeping up with these Red Bulls while Gasly drops back. So Landonorris keeping himself in the hunt a little bit. You can see a little bit of brighter sky coming over there. So there is some hope for a little bit of a dry second half, but I don't think anybody's going to be pitting rightly or wrongly today. They're all going to stay out on those intermediates. They started in the intermediates knowing that it would probably be tricky to start with, but that it would make the rest of the conditions easier to handle without a pit stop. And Verstappen continues to lead Perez, Norris in third, Gasly fighting for all he's worth to hold back the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, who is trying to find a way through. Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri in order behind them, but not really any sign from Mercedes are coming through. And Max Verstappen, who's normally so good in the wet, is under pressure from Sergioperez here, and Perez may well take a look. Look at how wet it is offline, but Perez is braving it, and he's continuing to stay off the line as he attempts to pass Max Verstappen down into turn one. Here goes Checo. Is he going to make it? Max is going to try to hold on for sure, but Perez is getting down, and this time he's got the line surely, but Verstappen is still fighting out, and Landonorris waiting to pick up any scraps. He might be a bit too close. I think he'd get caught up if they collided, but Perez is through, and Max Verstappen has to settle for second place. He'll have to try to come back at Perez now, and look at the gap between the top three and the rest of them. And there you go, Ocon, Sainz and Alonso completing the top 10, and Leclerc has managed to pass Gasly, and now Hamilton sets about trying to find a way past the AlphaTauri. And well, the Mercedes in a normal circumstance should easily have the pace, but I don't know if he's going to have the pace, and that just shows how far Mercedes have fallen and continue to fall at the moment. They really need to turn it around. I mean, we're talking about the team that did get a pole position in the last race, but they weren't really any threat for the win at any point. Got passed at the start, Bottas by Perez, and never caught up with Sergioperez. He is looking good here, potentially for another victory, his second in a row, and Max Verstappen needs to try something, but that's just not happening at the moment. And a few of them skipping over the corner there, just picking the easiest route through the wetness and the spray. And look at this though, the Red Bulls are starting to get away from Norris. Norris being left alone, marooned on his own a little bit in third place now, as Max Verstappen continues to pile the pressure on Perez, and Norris gets a little bit close to the barrier for comfort there, gets away with it though, and is still Sergioperez leading as we come towards the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Perez continues to lead ahead of Max Verstappen. It's now Max who has to go offline to find something, but it seems that when you go offline you're actually quicker. It's a bit bizarre, it doesn't really work in a normal wet circumstance, but it is working here. And Verstappen, he's got the pace. Will he be able to pass Perez before the line? Perez looks like he's going to hold on, but we'll only know when we get there. Perez comes down, Verstappen still trying, but Perez crosses the line and wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Max Verstappen alongside him right at the end, and then Landonorris finishes in third place, the first podium of the season for McLaren. And after a poor start, it's starting to pick up. Well, at least it's picking up for one McLaren, because Daniel Ricciardo failed to score points once again this season, and Ricciardo is still stuck on 1 point He had some promising performances early doors, but didn't get the result. And now, still only on 1 point, Daniel Ricciardo. So, the race finish result then. Sergioperez wins the Grand Prix for Red Bull. Max Verstappen second, completing the 1-2. Never in doubt. Landonorris third. Charles Leclerc did manage to pass Pierregasly to go up into fourth place. And not many other positional changes in the top 10 really. Gasly finishes fifth, Hamilton sixth, Bottas seventh, Ocon eighth, Sainz ninth and Alonso 10th. I think Lewis Hamilton will have to take some heart from the fact that he actually has beaten his teammate today. But there's still a long, long way to go for Mercedes to try to get back to any sort of competitive shape. So let's have a look at the championship. Perez leading it on 117 points. Bottas is still second on 94, but he's only 2 ahead of Max Verstappen now, who's on 92 points. Charles Leclerc on 67, Carlos Sainz on 37, as well as Lando Norris, and Hamilton not far behind on 33. The constructors, Red Bull 209 already on a lot of points. Mercedes 127, Ferrari 104, Alpine 48, AlphaTauri 47, and McLaren moving up to 38. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Take care.